Over-cleansing is probably the most common reason nowadays for skin irritation. We slap on this, that and the other lotion and potion, dragging it across our faces, pulling at our skin, which can cause premature wrinkling. With some lotions as well, if you don't actually clear them off well, that can block the pores, causing even worse irritation. What I'd like to do is strip it back to the basics of cleansing. What I'm going to do is look at two different ways we can approach this: soap and water and lotions. If you choose to go with soap and water, look at something like an olive oil soap. This is incredibly moisturizing. Glycerine soap as well, that has the property of attracting moisture back into the layers. Lotions are wonderful too. You just need to be aware of how you remove the lotions and also make sure that they're not too aggravating. Try and avoid too many perfumes in there or additives. The main thing is you find a regime that suits you, that suits your skin and your schedule. I'd like to introduce you to Steph now, and she's going to take us through the first routine with washing. When washing your face, the following is the easiest and probably most efficient sequence to really clean your skin. First of all, you just want to lightly moisten your skin with warm water. If the water is too hot, this can actually dilate the vessels in your skin, which isn't a good idea, and if it's too cold, it'll cause the pores to contract and that could trap the dirt into your skin. So warm water is the safest and gentlest way to start. Now choose your soap, preferably either a glycerine or olive oil based soap, and just lather that up, massaging it between your hands with the warm water to activate it. Make sure you've got a nice consistency, and then apply that nice and gently to your face, using the movements again of smoothing upwards and outwards. Really make sure that you've covered all the skin. Try not to pull or drag the skin, but use massaging movements. Light circular types of movements are really good, just using the fingertips. If you apply too much pressure, this can actually force the dirt back into the skin. You need to encourage the skin to release any dirt particles, so keep the movements nice and light. You're then going to rinse off the soap, just again with the warm water. You could either use a natural sponge or a very soft cloth, preferably not terry toweling, as you can get little bits of the material stuck in the skin and that can aggravate the pores. The same goes for cotton wool or tissues. So just using natural sponge, a smooth cloth, or even a muslin cloth. Those are all very beneficial because they actually give a slight exfoliation to the skin at the same time as the cleansing. I always recommend doing a second cleanse. The second cleanse actually is a little bit deeper. You really are now making sure that you've got all of the dirt out of the pores and that you're cleansing the skin nice and thoroughly. Particularly if you wear makeup or work in a smoky environment, this is really important, as you need to make sure that your skin is totally clean before we go any further. Use those nice light circular movements. Always make sure you work away from the eyes. Obviously don't get any soap in your eyes. The eye area itself is very delicate, so we would always treat this separately. And again, just rinse off with the nice warm water, using upward sweeping movements to remove. Rinse your pads in between to make sure that you're not actually tracing the dirt up and through into your skin. Now you can just blot your face dry. Don't pull the skin, don't rub it, just blot nicely with a clean, cool cloth. If you prefer to use a lotion for cleansing, that's absolutely fine. But this always brings up an interesting point of, should we not be using water to take it off? Should we be using the tissues and cotton wool? And as I've said, these can cause problems by leaving debris on the skin, which can in turn aggravate. I actually prefer to use a cleansing routine with lotions using a muslin cloth, which is wonderful for taking off the lotion nice and thoroughly, or the sponges as we used before with the soap and water wash. Again, apply the lotion to the whole of the facial area, having warmed it in your hands, using those nice circular movements. Just use your fingertip pressure, don't press too deeply. You don't want to press the lotion into your skin, you want to draw the dirt out from the pores. Now just using a soft, smooth face cloth, you can wipe the lotion away from your skin, cleaning out the pores, lifting away the dirt. Again, make sure that you're not pulling or rubbing, just a smooth movement. Rinse the cloth in between. Remember to use those upward and outward strokes. And then again with the lotion, I would advise to do a secondary deeper cleanse. Warm it all up between the palms of your hands, nice and even, and then smooth the cream in. You can even use some of the acupressure points. This helps to stimulate the skin. Little gentle circular movements, just making sure that the lotion is into the surface of the skin, but not going too deeply, keeping that pressure nice and light. But stimulate the skin sufficiently that you can actually drain away the toxins through this very light form of massage when you're actually doing the cleanse. And use the cloth to lift the lotion off the skin, taking away the dirt and grime. Once you've removed all the lotion, just do a final blot to the whole skin to make sure you're just lifting off any remaining bits of lotion you may have on your face. And then just blot dry with a nice clean, cool towel. The coolness of the towel will actually just help close the pores after the cleanse, making sure that no fresh dirt might get in there. So what about the use of toners? Well, there's a lot of debate on this one, but basically toners can be very refreshing for the skin and can also help to tone, freshen, and possibly tighten the pores of the skin, which can be seen as a very beneficial aspect. I personally like to use a toner, but instead of actually applying it again with cotton wool or something like that, just to lightly press it into the skin, which feels nice and fresh on the skin having cleansed totally. And then using my muslin cloth, just then blotting off any of the remaining toner, which will lift out any remaining lotion and dirt that could have been left on the skin. Another option you can use for toning is just to use one of the natural floral waters. These can be really refreshing and quite invigorating for the skin, especially in summer. You can use a floral water such as rose or orange or lavender water. Rose water is wonderful for all skins, but particularly for dry or sensitive. Orange water is a little more astringent, so good for combination skins, and lavender is nice and calming. Just use a little spray to apply to your face and left now feeling refreshed and toned.